wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Every now and then, there are rumors that one celebrity or the other has just sold their soul to the devil. It turns out that Dave Chappelle might have just given his 2 cents on the rumors that Kevin Hart is one of such celebrities who sold his soul for his career and fame. Dave Chappelle reportedly believes that Kevin Hart would never have made it big in the industry if he had not agreed to do some of the things he swore he would never do. Chappelle has been on the comedy scene long before Kevin, so he definitely would have thoughts on the rumors. And we all know that Dave Chappelle is not one to sell out or mince his words, so when he speaks, you know he will be dropping some facts. Want to know what Chappelle thinks of Kevin Hart? Stay tuned to find out. In a 2012 interview, Kevin Hart was asked what he thought about black comedians wearing dresses and if it was something he would ever do. Kevin admitted that although he has not been put in that position, he knows he has boundaries to guide him through his career. But in 2013, Kevin Hart made an appearance on the Saturday Night Live show as Pope Kuvenzon Wallace. He wore a purple dress similar to what the young actress had worn to the Oscars. He wore a curly updo and sported her signature puppy dog purse.
Is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kevin Wallace.
Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Kevin Wallace, of course, the first African American, the first female, and first child pope.
And what is the new pope doing?
Pope Kevin is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Truly adorable, and everyone...
Why is this particular appearance relevant? You see, from this moment, Kevin Hart's success in the entertainment industry skyrocketed to crazy heights, and this has fueled the rumors that Kevin Hart sold out his soul for fame. But what does this have to do with wearing a dress? A lot of people do not know, but there has been a long-time debate as to why black male actors are made to show up in dresses. It is almost as if Hollywood is obsessed with seeing black men in dresses. So it is funny that Kevin Hart's stance on wearing a dress changed in just a year. We mean, the topic was brought up to him in that interview. And yes, he had a lot of things to say. He might have wiggled around the question a little bit, but he still maintained that wearing a dress was something he would not do.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts, and is that something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning. I said no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
Well, never say never, right? Because just a year after saying all of that, Kevin Hart shows up in a purple dress. Since his SNL appearance, Kevin Hart has been cast in several big-budget movies like Get Hard with Will Ferrell, Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson, The Wedding Ringer, and Jumanji. He also started his own production company called Heartbeat Productions in 2009 and signed a deal with Nickelodeon in 2018. Just like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle is a very successful comedian. We mean not everyone can turn down a $50 million contract from Comedy Central and then land a $60 million Netflix deal.
Before Chappelle's show was at Comedy Central, I pitched that show to HBO. I told them what I wanted to do. Now, these are executives. All they have to do is say, yeah, we'll take it, or no, thank you, we won't. But they didn't say either of those things. They went too far. They said, literally, what do we need you for? That's what they told me, as they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are, all these years later, and they're streaming the very show that I was pitching to them. So I'm asking them, what do you need me for?
But there's more to the specifics of this power move than meets the eye. You see, unlike Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle has always been very outspoken about the dark side of Hollywood.
I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about.
Chappelle always talks about how the industry is filled with top guys who love controlling everyone. But has Kevin ever been this outspoken about Hollywood secrets? Definitely not. He is undoubtedly one of the most hard-working comedians in the game right now, but the industry has proven that talent and hard work alone is not enough to make it big in Hollywood. So what then is the secret to Kevin Hart's meteoric success? Has Kevin Hart really sold his soul for money and success? Well, it seems there has been a long-standing rule that comedians have to be willing to humiliate themselves in exchange for money and exposure in the game. This conspiracy theory is hinged on the trope that black male entertainers are made to wear dresses on screen as some sort of rite of passage. From the Wayans brothers to Tyler Perry, Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, and Martin Lawrence, the list does go on. All of these black comedians ended up playing very exaggerated roles, and oftentimes they were offensive versions of black women. We can't say if this is actually a real thing or if it's just some coincidence, but it is a fact that there have just been one too many movies that have featured black men cross-dressing or playing female characters. In fact, there has been quite a disproportionate amount of such movies when compared to white male actors doing the same. Chapelle is one of the greatest of his time, and even he could somehow not escape this trope going around in the industry where black men have to wear a dress. This appears to be one of the reasons he turned down that $50 million deal from Comedy Central back in 2005.
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances
Uh-huh.
that were coming with the newfound plateau.
After turning down this seemingly lucrative offer, he took some time off and went to South Africa, and at that time, the media started spinning all sorts of negative stories about him. All of a sudden, Dave Chappelle was painted as a crack addict who had suffered a mental breakdown. Chappelle later explained that the reason he turned down the Comedy Central contract was because he has seen how things happen in the industry when celebrities are trying to cross over to the next level of fame. According to Chappelle, there is a plateau, and things happen once you try to cross it.
Since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
In Chappelle's case, he was constantly encouraged to put out socially irresponsible content that usually made people laugh at him as opposed to laughing with him.
Because, when you're a guy that generates money,
Yeah.
people have a vested interest in controlling.
But of course, Chappelle did not stop there. He had some very specific things to say about the compromising things that entertainers are made to do.
They got me. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, why all these brothers gotta wear a dress? This happened to me.
He recalled an incident that took place while he was on set for a movie with Martin Lawrence.
I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it.
It was kind of crazy that even after Chappelle expressed that he was uncomfortable with the idea of putting on a dress, the writers and producers continued to pressure him to do it. In their words, all the greats have done the same. It makes you wonder if this is just a conspiracy theory after all. You see, Chappelle also recalled how he was glad that he stood his ground at the end of the day, because it turns out that the producers actually had 2 versions of the movie script ready, just in case he would not go along with the preferred dress-up scene.
The minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress, I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine, think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene, damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a stand.
You might have noticed that Kevin Hart's career has been bulletproof since that SNL appearance. Between 2019 and 2022, Kevin was featured in 8 big-budget movies. He has also secured partnerships with Peacock, Facebook, and YouTube through his production company. You could say that this is a totally different experience from that of Dave Chappelle. Chappelle's name was dragged through the mud, and the media certainly did the most to ruin his reputation at the time. Is it because he dared to say no to something that has seemingly brought great success for his industry colleagues? It does seem like these Hollywood bosses care only about money and control.
You know, when you're a guy that generates money,
Yeah.
people have a vested interest in controlling.
Yeah.
But maybe that is just Chappelle talking. Do let us know your thoughts on this in the comments below.